It's Beast Wars time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're going to have a look at the Transformers masterpiece, MP-50 Tigatron. The Siberian tiger, the big kitty, and what I'm hearing a lot, a Cheeto repaint? That's totally not what that is. I don't even know why people bring this up. This guy's bigger. It does have the same design in robot mode, but obviously this one is a Siberian tiger and not a cheetah. It's a big kitty. So now, let's have a look. This tiger mode is not fun. So, overall look and detail of the figure, you can already tell there's a lot going on. Give you the size of the kitty, like the length basically up to the tail is like 18 centimeters, which means we would go up to 7 inches, about that much. It's really rough, but then again, it is just like the length of it. So overall, the look of the figure is pretty good. I like the printed on lines, the tiger stripes that go on all throughout the figure. It doesn't look super realistic. It has kind of like a little bit of a dot matrix like a thing. It's kind of like very small dots to make it look kind of robotic as stuff falls down. That's a great start to the review. I love the face sculpt also. Really has a bit of that goofy Beast Wars look, which I'm not trying to make fun of it. It's just like, you know, it was one of those early 3D shows, and I loved it for that. But looking back on it now, yeah, it's kind of like blur. Got a nice opening mouth with them teeth on there, all individually sculpted and painted, and more on the lines. The nose has the whiskers. Try not to lose those. Those are connected in there. And the eyes, which we can switch around, but that's only for later. And then there's for whatever reason, is it just me? Oh, his ears like brighter. Oh, those get brighter over here also a little bit. That seems to be the only parts where they really do that, and I don't really know why they do that. But yeah, let's look also. The kitty is a bit fat from the side, so that's also all the mechanics that are hidden in there. Obviously will be an issue, and yeah, as you can tell, mine over here is not really lining up because it doesn't. I have trouble lining all these up. There's a lot of panels, well, not really that many, but it's kind of hard to get this in there and then get that in there without this one disassembling. It holds together very nicely over here, but not really on the bottom. Also, that's due to the gun that I put in there. That was in the box, it wasn't on the figure, so yeah, I can't even get this one apart anymore. This part is super tight, but all the other panels are not. So let me get the gun out real quick and try this again. And I can't really do it right now, so I don't want to break anything. Also, there's a lot of panels on the side, which do tend to kind of pop out if you're moving around this stuff over here. And well, you know, moving around, but this entire piece, this entire arm always kind of moves around with this automatically, not on purpose, but it's just kind of connected over there. So it has some wiggle to it, and it does not fit together nicely. As such, it's not solid, and it's really not. Ah, there you go. There's a nice click. The lower part doesn't click, like I'm saying. It doesn't click. Where's the clickety click? Alright, anyway. As I'm down here on the legs, the back legs look awful. I don't know what they did here. It's just like, again, it's a bunch of panels, probably gonna be like part of the shoulders or whatever. And it's ugly, it's awful looking. Especially down here, those uneven paws, I wouldn't even count that. This is always angled like that. You can't really move it down to make it look natural. It just, what is this? What is this? Then you have the tail, and of course here in the back, you see all the robot bits sticking out. And that's the other thing, like you can kind of try to rotate this around, but it will never look great. It will always look kind of funky. Now the front part though, I gotta be honest, that's okay. Like if you look at the figure like that, that's fine, but then, bleh. Now, articulation of the tiger, as I get the gun out of the way. Also, that's kind of weird, so the head tilts side to side. Doesn't really go all the way around without disassembling him. Goes up very nicely. Doesn't really go down, again, without disassembling. You can pull this out, but then, a head. There's a head sticking out. And doesn't really have wiggle motion. Can move the eyes around, and I think you can open this up. Oh, God. So you can move the, rotate the eyes around to your wish. And then there's like the orange one in there. That just looks weird. We'll get to that for the transformation. And then for your arm, that moves all the way around, is on a swivel, as it's just... Again, this is not fun to handle, like I'm saying. If this one just disassembles completely, the figure is already falling apart, just me trying to move it around. Goes all the way around, almost, no, up and down. You can rotate it out, but that again doesn't look good. It's mostly for the transformation, but you can do it. And then you have a hinge in the, I guess, elbow, I'm gonna call it. Has some good range. Doesn't look awesome though. Then you have another hinge over here, which is pretty stiff, but that's good for stability. So you got that. Also rotate over here. For your chest area, obviously there's not really anything going on without disassembling it. You could probably unlock some panels and maybe get something out of that, but that doesn't count, so I'm not doing that. Then for your weird legs in the back over here, those are extremely fiddly as well, so those rotate around this entire piece. You can bring that around and then go out to the sides with this hinge over there. But again, that doesn't look great, so let's not do that. And all these panels over here, you can try maybe to collapse it, maybe get it into position to hide it, but again, it's just, this doesn't, you know, this doesn't really peg in over there. It's supposed to. Let me see that again. There's a little bit of a nook, but it just rests on there, so that's not fun. Anyway, then you got the leg, the back part, you have a hinge over here, but as the same thing, it's more for the transformation, because this comes apart, this nice panel over here, which is supposed to hide anything, and yeah, I guess it doesn't count either. Then you have a pivot. I call it a pivot, but again, transformation doesn't really look good. And you can bring this forward. No, actually no. You know what? Screw this. This doesn't work. Then we have a tail, which has another hinge over there, which I find kind of excessive, but okay. And then one in the front, which is stuck. There we go. Up, down, and up, down. Doesn't go side to side at all. So yeah, kitty mode is, I'm not a fan of it. It's just like coming apart and bleh. Oh, but actually I forgot one thing. You got this piece which you can put in the kitty's stomach and put it on the base. That's included with Beast Wars Dinobot or Black Arachnia. Just, you know, this guy doesn't come with a base. You get the adapter though to put him on the base if you want to do that. So during the transformation, I actually noticed there is a swivel over here in the tail. Right there, nicely hidden. So at least you got that. And the robot mode looks a lot better. Not perfect by any means, but it will do. Now, he does gain quite some size. I was gonna get to that, but yes, the knees. The knees, he stands at about 20 centimeters to the top of his head, which means we're going up to 7.9, 7.8 inches tall, a little short of them 8 inches. So yeah, overall the knees don't work so well. It's not completely fiddly, but when he's standing up, it's just like, eh. Now of course he does work, okay. So when I tried to balance him earlier, he kept falling backwards with the knees, but now I guess they work. Ah, there we go. That's what I mean. So that happens, really has to balance him, take some time balancing him out, but overall look and detail of the figure, I love the face sculpt. He even got the whiskers painted in there, got some nice metallic green all over the place, and there's two shades of white. You got, like in most of the robot parts, it's really this plasticky looking more, but shiny white that goes on throughout the entire figure, and that's really accurate to the show. I had some look at some old footage, and by the way, the fact that the ears are brighter, that was also in the show. I didn't really notice that after I went back and looked at some video, look at some random YouTube video of Tigatron. So anyway, really, again, in the show you see all of the metallic parts of the robot parts, really stuff reflecting off. It's not as reflective, but still, I love the material used over here, and it looks completely different than from the Tiger parts, which really, you know, to keep the robot and the Tiger parts apart, does a good job. and it pops, obviously. So again, there's more metallic green and robot details all throughout the body. You still have the tiger face, there's some more green and the crotch plate. These things, you kind of rotate those around. They do stay in place, but a bit fiddly. Speaking of fiddly, the eyes. I wish the eyes were a little bit more held in place because they keep rotating around as I move the figure around, so they never stick in there as I want them to. And yes, overall from the front, this figure looks great. There's another white line, more detail, and the spikes in the thighs, but not the thighs, the lower legs anyway. But then as you move them around, there's some issues here. Now overall, you have the crossed legs, which is animation accurate. I'm not complaining about that, but why do you not have like a panel or whatever to hide the tail in there? Because this is just like panel mania over here. You got some panels which are nicely hidden on the side. I'm not hating on those, even though they do stick out a little bit weirdly, but at least in this mode everything fits together fairly nicely. I say fairly because you got the panels on his arm which don't really stick in anywhere. That's what I'm saying. It would prohibit the articulation, but I still would have liked something over here or whatever, lower part, just to stick that in as such. It does stay in place, but I would have liked something to stick it in place. And he has some pretty big calves, which again is just folded up panels, and it's completely hollow over here. I don't know. I kind of looked at the instructions if I did something wrong there, but it just... If I did something wrong there, let me know in the comments. You know, yell at me in the comments for being an idiot. But I'm not good at transforming, so yeah, and there goes the knees again. But overall, I mean, the look of it is pretty... Oh. Accessories! The most important one, the gun. Has like this weird kind of brain thing in the back. I never know what was up with that. Has the pack sticking out where you connect it to the tiger form, unfortunately. But it is nice and detailed. It looks accurate to the show, so not well complaining there. You have this weird Megatron hat, which I don't remember what this was about. I think Megatron got blown up at some point, and they used this to have something with the aliens, which I don't know. I'm not sure anymore. I did see the show like many years ago, so I don't remember all the details. You have this gun, sidearm gun, which connects to one of these panels over here. Then we have this hacking device, which you slide into the side of his head. Let me see if I can demonstrate this one. I hate connecting stuff onto the camera. It's just like, try it out at home, put a camera in front, and then try to move something around with your hands and looking through the camera lens so it's still in the frame. It's not easy to do, at least not for me. Anyway, then you got the faces. You got like the hacking face, which has the blue. Also, he has some light piping, by the way. He has a spot in the back of his head, so that's why the eyes can be lit up if you have some light source that you flash in the back. So you got an angry face and look kind of like a worried face. Those look all pretty cool. And yeah, for the light piping, kind of just this part in the back of his head, just light that up, and his eyes will light up. Light it up. And here he is next to Cheetor, just for comparison's sake. Definitely big difference in size, but yes, the mold. I mean, the design of the figure is mostly the same, but you cannot recycle these small parts on a bigger kitty, obviously. Just for the record, for people saying like, oh, this is the same figure. It's not. Not at all. Final thoughts, but before I do, I also got this one. This was with it. This is like the first release. You kind of get a pin, which looks pretty cool. I dig it. MP-50 has like the Tigatron face on it. But final thoughts on the figure, I don't really know. So let me start off with the cat mode. The Siberian Tiger looks good. And as I mentioned before, the front part of that mode looked good. The panels are pretty fiddly. Couldn't really get those to line up. Well, they do line up, but as soon as you move it around, it kind of disintegrates. And as such, the Tiger mode is okay. Could be worse, could be a lot better. weird panels, and the back paws just look awful. Robo mode, however, looks fantastic. Really, I don't have much to complain about here. The backpack kibble might seem weird, but it's, like I'm saying, it's show accurate for the most part. And yeah, the look is amazing. In Robo mode, the articulation is also very, very nice. There's just some small things like this could log in, and the knees are fairly weak, and the head doesn't have any up and down movement. But what does that mean overall? It's too expensive. So if you're not a Beast Wars hardcore Beast Wars fan like I am, I would say wait for price drop. But overall, I do recommend this figure. Don't get me wrong, I do recommend this figure. I still think it's a good figure. I just think the price point is a little bit too high. That's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Tigatron wants. Also, by the way, this connects over there. Pew pew.